I'm glad you're back with us.
No,
they're both on their phones.
Photobomb.
I was planning a stunt. All right, just pretend that didn't happen. You carry on as normal.
Okay. Well, welcome back to Weekend Sunrise. The stunt's about to start any minute, surely. Okay, now to a bit of eye candy for you. Ah!
Boom. I see what you did there.
See, I always get you confused. Andrew O'Keefe, Chris Hemsworth. Oh, you had to take your top off because he's topless. That's the eye candy, right? Yep, you heard right, ladies. Hollywood's hottest hunk has gone shirtless yet again in his return to the big screen as the hammer-wielding superhero Thor. Ooh.
There's gratuitous toplessness.
Well, it's very relevant in the story at that point for me.
You've actually rendered him speechless.
Well, one fan was so impressed with our former home and away star, he posted this clip on YouTube in super slow-mo.
You know, for a crazy homeless person, he's pretty cut.
Wow, that's what I call a hammer-wielding superhero. Apparently, Chris wasn't overly impressed with having to shed his shirt, but here's one man who always is.
Oh yeah, lapped it up.
Yeah.
Lapped it up.
Jabs, what do you think of Thor?
Love Thor. Expecting a lot from this this film. Obviously, we were left with a great taste in our mouth from the first Thor and from the Avengers movie. Well, not that kind of
After
taste
that
in your mouth,
YouTube,
but you know, popcorn blockbuster, which is exactly the type of movies that I love. I was a little sceptical about this one as we led into it because there was only one screening, and often studios will do that if they're hesitant that the movie's any good. What was a great sign though was that people were arriving an hour before the screening, desperate to get in, and the guys from Disney were like, "Oh my God, okay, we've got a hit on our hands here," because there's a lot of anticipation for this film.
Well, it's Natalie Portman in it as well. Say no more.
She's brilliant. She made Star Wars, you know, the reboots of Star Wars, fantastic. Look, earlier in the week or earlier in the day that I saw Thor: The Dark Planet, I'd watched Treasure Planet, which is a Disney film, and I realised that Disney does one thing brilliantly, and that is baddies. They have some of the coolest baddies that have ever been in movies, and the two Thor films are no surprise whatsoever. And the great thing about about Thor is that one of the main baddies is his brother Loki. Yeah, who's absolutely brilliant. Let's take a quick look at Thor.
That is a big hammer.
Yeah, it's a big hammer. I'm not sure if this is going to be an Oscar winner, but it had a lot of parallels with the Star Wars universe, even though it's meant to be, you know, set in ancient
Speaking
times.
of stars.
4 stars.
4 stars for Thor: The Dark World. Definitely worth seeing if you like a big blockbuster popcorn movie.
I hope they slip in that old joke, do they? Thor, you're Thor. I'm so Thor I could hardly swing my sword. You know that one?
That old chestnut.
They're saving that for the third one in the trilogy, I believe.
Sure. Now to a film inspired by the life of Eugene Allen, a African-American man born on a cotton plantation who ended up becoming the head butler at the White House. He's got a heap of stars: Forrest Whitaker, Oprah Winfrey, amongst others. Jabba, talk us through the butler.
It's interesting you use the phrase there, African-American, because this film charts the course of when black people in America went from being coloured to Negroes to black to just being Americans. It's something that is quite difficult to really understand the gravitas of here in Australia. We obviously have a very different scenario in Australia with our own Indigenous population. In America, the struggles of the blacks to get some type of equality is painted really well in this film. As a young man who grew up on a cotton plantation, he ran away by sheer hard luck and virtue, finds himself a job at the White House and does exactly as he's told, serves 8 presidents over 34 years and comes back. Can I just show you one thing here? This is Barack Obama on the cover of Esquire magazine. We go, black president. Doesn't seem that far-fetched. When you watch this movie, which is based on this book, which is, I've just been reading this again this morning, it's a brilliant book and gives you a bit more of an insight than the film does. The concept of a black president is laughable for the majority of this man's life. So well,
we think back to, you know, the celebration of the anniversary of Martin Luther King's "I Have a Dream" speech that we had a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
And just how totally disenfranchised the black population was.
How deep segregation was is just terrifying. And this film, it basically chooses that as its story arc, a battle for civil rights in America, while also honing in on a father-son relationship that the Butler has with his son, who wants to be a Black Panther. So let's take a look at the Butler.
You need to go.
What?
Get the hell out of my house! What are you doing? Get on out!
Now everybody just sit
I'm
down.
sorry, Mr. Butler. I didn't mean to make fun of your hero.
Everything you are and everything you have is because of that Butler.
Look, I'm teary because that is the moment in the movie where I cried. That was a brilliant scene and I wanted to cry more. I wanted this to be a 5-star movie. It is a must-see film. 3.5 stars for the Butler. A little bit hammy at times. There's a bit of a comedy kind of scenario in there. There's a brilliant cast. Lenny Kravitz is great. Oprah Winfrey is great. The presidents are fantastic. It just is a little bit. It's almost like a Saturday Night Live parody at times. So
But you're still saying it's must-see.
a must-see film, absolutely. Packed with chicks. The screening I went to, and they say that women generally pick the
winners, the Oscar
will
winners.
pick the winners, but also decide which screening
Oh,
they're
yeah,
going to
yeah,
go
what
to.
blokes
So
you're gonna
if
go
you're looking
to.
for a good
Yeah,
movie to
100%.
see, guys go see Thor, ladies go see The Butler.
Yeah, okay. That looks good.
Excellent.
Thank you,
Tough
Jabba.
choice though between Chris Hemsworth and Lenny Kravitz if you're
Lenny's fantastic.
Yeah,
really
that's
good.
tough.
if you're
See
that
both.
gender.
See both.
Why not?
Thanks, Jabba.
Thanks, guys.
Stay with us. We've got more of Weekend Sunrise right after this.